The handcuffs bit into my wrists as 3 patrol cars roared up to my lakefront cabin, their sirens slicing through the dawn. Neighbors spilled out, staring in horror as officers hauled me toward a squad car. Among them stood Linda Harper, the HOA president, tears streaming down her face like a practiced actress. "Thank God you're here," she sobbed, clutching her chest. "I was scared to call, but he's been getting more dangerous every day." I froze, stunned. Dangerous? Me? All I wanted was to fix up the cabin I'd inherited, to escape my past, and start fresh. What lies had Linda fed the police to make me their target? Let me backtrack. I'm Mike Torres, 44, a former Army combat engineer who hit rock bottom 6 years ago. One dumb night, too many drinks at a friend's send-off, and I drove home. That DUI cost me my job, my clearance, my marriage, everything. I've been clean since, welding on oil rigs, piecing my life back together. 3 months ago, a call changed it all. My uncle Carlos left me his cabin on Mirror Lake. I hadn't seen him much lately, but he never turned his back on me, unlike the rest of my family. The cabin was a simple 70s log home, but it sat on prime lakefront with a private boat ramp that only won for miles. A hidden gem I didn't fully grasp at first. I'd saved $45,000 from the rigs, enough to rebuild somewhere quiet, away from judgment. The plan was clear: renovate the cabin, maybe rent it out, and find peace. Mirror Lake seemed ideal, secluded, serene, a place to heal. But peace was a pipe dream. The day I arrived, boxes still in my truck, Linda Harper stormed up, all business. At 47, newly divorced, living in the smallest house in the community, she carried herself like she ruled the lake. As HOA president, she shoved a stack of papers at me. "Mr. Torres," she said, her tone icy. "I'm Linda Harper, and we need to talk now." The document screamed trouble, $12,000 in fines for hazardous structural issues. The cabin was uninhabitable, the ramp unpermitted, and I had 48 hours to fix it or face eviction. The papers looked legit: photos, measurements, legal jargon, but my gut screamed scam. I fought to keep my temper, remembering my counselor's warning about my anger. "This is harassment," I said, voice tight. That's when Henry Brooks, a 74-year-old retired Marine engineer next door, stepped in like a lifeline. "Mike, take it easy," he said, his hand steady on my shoulder. "Let's play this smart." He was right. Losing it was what sank me before. I told Linda I'd review the papers and watched her march off, her heels crunching gravel like a ticking bomb. Later, I called the former HOA president, who dropped a bombshell. Linda had tried to steal $60,000 from community funds for her own house, forcing the president out. "She's desperate," the woman said. Her divorce left her with nothing. That night, over a beer on Henry's dock, he added more. "She's been sniffing around your ramp for months, taking photos, asking about boundaries. But she doesn't know it's private, built for Carlos in '79. The puzzle pieces fit. Linda wasn't just a control freak, she was dangerous. Instead of a public meeting where she might lose her grip, Linda went door to door, spreading lies about my DUI and claiming my neglected ramp was tanking property values. She never said she wanted the ramp outright, just pushed community improvements. Soon, the neighborhood fractured, for families bought her story, 3 backed me thanks to the old president's warning, and 5 just wanted lake access without the drama. The pressure was brutal. $8,000 in repairs to avoid eviction, noise complaints about my welding, anonymous letters calling me a criminal. By week 2, neighbors avoided me in town. After a tense run-in at the hardware store, I sat in my truck and called my Army buddy, Dave, in Texas. "Maybe I should sell and bolt," I said, hating my weakness. Dave didn't hold back. "Mike, you've been running since the DUI. When are you going to fight for something worth having?" That night, Henry caught me packing to leave. "Your uncle gave you this place for a reason," he said, sitting on my porch. "Carlos fought in Vietnam, faced hate when he came home, but he never backed down from a just fight." I paused, staring at the lake, Carlos's stories of grit in my head. "I'm one mistake from jail, Henry," I said. "Some fights find you," he replied. "You gonna face it or keep running?" The next day, we spent 4 hours at the courthouse, digging up 1979 records. The survey was airtight. The ramp was private, built for Carlos's lot before the HOA existed. Henry advised, Let her bury herself, Mike. Linda upped the ante at an emergency HOA meeting, waving my DUI record and photos of violations, claiming the ramp was communal. I could have ended it with the survey, but Henry's words held me back. Give her rope. I asked for a week to consult a lawyer, staying calm. Linda snapped. No time. Her panic showed. In the parking lot, she offered $50,000 cash for ramp access. I need it, she said, eyes wild. You don't know what I'm facing. I suggested legal options. She scoffed. Legal's too slow. You've got 6 days. Henry warned me that night. She's going dirty. Dirty was an understatement. Day 1, a building inspector came for an anonymous complaint. Day 2, an environmental officer probed fake chemical storage claims. Day 3, cops showed up for a welfare check on a volatile veteran. Flyers hit mailboxes, warning of my instability. An online group posted veiled attacks. By day 5, Linda cornered me at the hardware store, loudly demanding I be reasonable about community access. My reply, "It's my property," sounded weak, and her smug grin said she'd swayed the crowd. Henry pushed me. She's cornering you. Show your hand. At the next meeting, Linda claimed decades of use, gave the HOA easement rights. I stood, holding the 1979 survey. This ramp was private, built for my uncle, I said, passing it around. Linda, didn't you check records before threatening me? Henry chimed in. I surveyed this land in '79. That ramp's never been communal. The room exploded. Neighbors felt duped. Linda mumbled about prescriptive easements, but I shut her down. Carlos allowed use out of kindness, not obligation. Her confidence cracked. Mike, please, she begged. The community needs this. I set rules, written permission, $25 monthly fee, respect boundaries. Most neighbors nodded. It was fair. But Linda's parting shot was chilling. You'll regret this. I've got 3 days. At 2:30 a.m., Linda was on her phone, frantic, begging a marina company for a $750,000 ramp deal to pay a $380,000 loan she'd co-signed for her ex's failed business. Without it, she faced prison and losing her kids. She turned criminal, planting motor oil and fake waste on my property, muttering about environmental violations to force an evacuation. My new trail cam's $89 birdhouse, $45 tackle box got it all. Her face, car, license plate, and audio of her scheme. The environmental officer smelled a rat, and my footage confirmed it. Press charges, he said. I hesitated, thinking of my own second chance. Henry wasn't soft. Mercy to her is cruelty to others. I showed Linda the footage, giving her one last chance. She broke, sobbing about the loan, prison, and custody. The ramp could save me, she cried. I suggested legal aid. She snapped, too slow. Her final threat, I won't go to jail. I'll find a way. Henry saw her loading papers at 3 a.m., warning she was beyond reason. Her search history showed plans to forge HOA bylaws and alter maps. She was gearing up for a final strike. At 4:47 a.m., Linda called 911 from a payphone, claiming a dangerous veteran was illegally holding community property. She spun my DUI and service into a tale of violence, saying I'd threatened residents with tools. By 6:15 a.m., 3 patrol cars hit my cabin. Officer Reynolds, a former Army MP, demanded ID and proof. Linda, with forged documents, fake charters, altered maps, played the victim. He's terrorizing us, she insisted. My DUI showed up, but so did my service. I'm clean, rebuilding, I told Reynolds, asking for a clerk call. Linda shouted, he's stalling. But Reynolds called, and Mrs. Carter confirmed. Mike Torres owns it, private ramp, no disputes. I showed the footage. Linda's trespassing, tampering, plotting. Reynolds cuffed her for false reporting, forgery, trespassing, and theft. Her breakdown was raw. I'll lose my kids. The ramp was my only shot. Handcuffs clicked as neighbors gaped. I told them. I gave her 3 chances. She chose lies. Reynolds freed me, saying, your calm saved you. 30 days later, Linda got 2.5 years, lost her house, belongings, and kids. She scrubbed courthouse bathrooms, a ghost of herself. I rebuilt. A $75 per month dock program brought $1,800 monthly, funding cabin upgrades, new wiring, plumbing, a sleek dock. The HOA, under new leadership, banned solo legal moves and mandated audits. I skipped the board, valuing freedom. A dock sign read, "Private dock, community welcome. Access by courtesy, not force." At a Labor Day barbecue, neighbors toasted our unity. I said, "Victory's building better, not beating foes." A year later, I burned Linda's parole letter. Justice was proving honesty outlasts lies. What's the cost of this win? What's Linda plotting now? Share your thoughts below.